Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, a warm welcome to Season 3, Episode 3 of the Youth Lounge hosted by Delhi Public School, Bangalore East. We are your hosts, Agnes Kurian,
And Moktika Shobit.
and today we bring you an exciting conclave of our alumni who have pursued their studies and career across the globe. This is a space where international experiences meet fresh ideas and where stories, insights, and skills from around the world come alive. Let us explore the valuable wisdom and journeys of our alumni and discover how their global paths can inspire and guide us all.
To begin our show on a thoughtful note, here's a poem I'd like to share. We dream of stepping on distant lands, of learning that shapes both heart and hands. New cultures, voices, worlds to explore, a chance to grow, to learn, to soar. From crafting LORs with care and pride to SATs and APs that test our stride, we plan, prepare, and aim so high for every dream that deserves to fly. Today, we're not alone on this quest. Our seniors join us, sharing their best. Their ups and downs, their cautions too, guiding us on paths they once flew.
Thank you, Moktika, for expressing your thoughts so poetically. Now, let's meet our remarkable panel of alumni. Each of them has carved a unique path abroad, gathering knowledge, experiences, and stories that we are eager to learn from. Isha Hebbar is a computer science student at the University of Wisconsin pursuing a bachelor's degree in computer science, data science, and economics with a 3.953 GPA. She has gained hands on experience as a web application developer intern at Akshaya Information Technology, building UIs with Angular and Prime NG. She is also the founder of Miharo, an initiative supporting children. Isha has contributed as the lead maths tutor at Achievement Connections. She graduated from our school in 2024, where she excelled academically with top board scores, while also contributing to the badminton team, core combat events, and the school music fests. Isha, we welcome you to this exciting talk show.
Our next guest is Gauri Harish. She's a talented software engineer and Purdue University graduate, where she earned a bachelor's degree in computer science with honors and a minor in economics, maintaining a 3.92 GPA. At Purdue, she was actively involved in student organizations such as the Computer Science Women's Network, Boiler Make, and Hello World. She's currently a software engineer at Amazon Web Services and has previously interned at Microsoft, Uber, and Tarnia Technology Solutions, while also contributing to initiatives like Rewriting the Code and Adobe Career Academy. She graduated from our school in 2019, where she excelled as a captain of Ganga House, participated in the badminton team and dance competitions, and engaged in impactful community service such as hair donations for children with cancer, fundraising for cataract operations, and teaching dance at Parikrama NGO. A warm welcome to you, Gauri.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here and I'm excited to share more.
Okay. Now that we've met our incredible alumni, let's dive into their journeys and experiences that took them from DPS Bangalore East to studying and working across the globe.
So let's begin with the question answer session. My first question is for Isha. It takes time and effort to apply to universities abroad. How and when did you get started with your profile building process?
Firstly, thank you so much, Agnes, for that introduction. Yeah, so getting to the question, I consciously started working on my profile, I would say from ninth grade. Um, Before that, in middle school, I didn't necessarily have a big plan. I was just doing things I genuinely enjoyed. For instance, in like seventh grade, I just started playing badminton with my friends, and I realized that that was something I really, really enjoyed. So I tried out all kind of creative activities like music, art, dance, essentially just to learn more about what I like to do and what I could maybe streamline my focus towards in the future grades. Um, yeah, so my main points for students would be middle school is more about exposure and learning about yourself. I would say try Olympiads, small competitions, clubs, grab any opportunities possible. Yeah, so just explore widely. So by ninth grade, you know your interests better. Then in ninth, 10th grade is where it becomes a little more intentional, I would say. I decided that I wanted to study abroad, so I started focusing towards that. I picked up all of my hobbies, which I had from middle school, such as badminton, and I started competing so I could probably add more dimensions to my profile. And then I started local volunteering as well. It just builds responsibility as well as community involvement. And then in 10th grade, I realized that computer science was something I was passionate about. So I picked up small courses. I did an introduction to Python as well as Pygame. Yeah, so the takeaway for students from that would be that this is where you probably start taking small but serious steps. You don't need perfection, just consistency and trying and initiative. And 11th and 12th grade is where it became a little more serious, I would say. So I tried reaching out to as many teachers as I could for opportunities, especially like assemblies, and Invictus is a great place to try that out. I took initiative by asking my math teacher maybe for like some research work if possible, anything I could study on by myself, build deeper involvement in areas I just cared about. Yeah, and then I even tried starting my own nonprofit in like 11th and 12th grade. So just maybe try to create opportunities for yourself. That would probably be my tip for 11th and 12th grade, and maybe streamline your efforts towards the subject you're interested in. Yeah, just to add to your portfolio. Yeah. So overall, my advice for students would be explore early. Middle school is the perfect time to just learn your interests. Don't overthink it. I would say start small, but definitely start as soon as you can. A short online course, a small project, a club, it all compounds in the end. And then talk to your teachers. They know opportunities that you don't. And yeah, that would probably be my answer for that.
Wow, that's valuable insight, Isha. I'm sure our students will benefit from it.
My first question goes to Gauri. Could you walk us through your academic journey from school till you joined your first job?
Yeah, for sure. I graduated high school in 2019, and post that I did a small internship in this company called Tarnia Technologies, and that was over the summer. And that was really helpful because that kind of gave me some rooting in CS. And then when I went to college, I could use that experience when I was applying for internships and other opportunities as well. Um, so after first year, that's when COVID hit. And that's when my internship actually got canceled. So I decided to take some more summer courses and do some learning on my own. I kind of went and I built this app, picked up some other CS skills, and that helped me get my next internship after my second year, which was at Uber. And after that, I also interned at Microsoft. And then after that, I'm working at Amazon post-college. Um, and apart from that, I'm actually still learning. I'm doing my master's right now at Georgia Tech. It's an online program and it's part-time and it's in analytics. So I guess my takeaway is don't stop learning and always invest in anything that you think you might be interested in and keep doing side projects.
It's great to hear about your resilience, even though the pandemic hit. So that's really amazing. On to you, Isha. How did you prepare for tests and assessments required for admissions to colleges abroad?
Okay. Yes. So basically, I had to prepare for two major tests, which were one the SAT and two TOEFL. Plus, also your 10th, 11th finals and 12 marks matter a lot if you're planning to apply abroad. So a lot of my attention was towards those exams as well. So first, let me talk about my SAT journey. The first time I took the SAT was in 10th grade, and I had scored a 1270. And I hadn't prepared much, and I just took it casually, just to, see how the exam was. And yeah, it told me how important good preparation and everything is for these exams. So then I decided to take my second attempt after 11th grade, for which I spent the summer of 11th grade preparing for. So that would be a good 2 months. And I focused a lot on like the English part because that's where I struggled. And Khan Academy was like a free resource that like helped me a lot. And all of the official practice papers, of course. And then when I retook it the summer after 11th grade, I got a score of 1520. And the main difference was definitely Khan Academy. And yeah, also that I had advanced in my schooling. So the math in CBSE essentially just um yeah, prepared me for the math section of that. And yeah, so the main takeaway from that would be understand the SAT style, especially the reading timing, and consistent practice is required to crack that exam, I would say. Yeah. And for the TOEFL, it was a lot simpler than the SAT. I just watched a few YouTube videos, understood the format of the paper. Yeah, get familiar with the timing, speaking templates, and listening section. So yeah, mainly just the template of the exam. Um, yeah, and then for school exams, your 10th board exam, your 11th finals are also very important if you're applying abroad. So I gave a good amount of time for those exams and your 12th midterms because they decide your predictive marks, which is quite important if you're applying abroad. Yeah. And I didn't take the APs, but I would recommend students to take those because they do help you with like adjusting with your college life, I would say. And like it just gives you credits, which makes your semester a little bit lighter. So my closing advice would be that you will have bad practice tests, bad practice exams. Don't let that ruin your confidence. Don't get too frustrated with scores. Just try your best, work consistently, and trust the process. Yeah, that would be my advice.
Thank you for sharing that, Isha. Your preparation is quite inspiring.
My next question is for you, Gauri. Beyond academics, you took on leadership and community roles. How did those experiences shape you professionally and personally?
Yeah, so just for context, the extracurriculars or leadership and community roles that I took up during high school were mainly dance, badminton, volunteering, and then a couple of CS things. So as for dance, I've been a trained Bharatanatyam dancer since I think I was probably like 6 or so, and then I've been doing classes, performing professionally. I did my Arangetram and all of that. So that continued into high school and into college as well. As for badminton, I think something similar to what Isha mentioned. I kind of started playing around fifth or sixth grade, and then I was also part of the DPS team, and I also used to practice and compete for badminton as well. As for volunteering, I did a couple of like hair donations and I also did a couple of fundraisers and I also taught dance as a form of volunteering. And lastly, as for CS, these were mostly personal projects, open source contributions or hackathons. Um, so this kind of shaped my portfolio. I know it's a lot more competitive now because I know my brother, who is also just a sophomore in college right now, he published a research paper before he went. So especially for CS, the landscape is more competitive. But this was just what I had going in. Apart from that, for leadership, I was also the Ganga House captain. As for how these shaped me professionally and personally, um, I think I've always been somebody who likes to like interact with people and then take on more responsibility. So on the professional side, it definitely helps you build more connections. For example, in college, I was a teaching assistant, so that helped for multiple courses. So that helped me build connections with professors and students who are a year or two older than I was. So I could learn a lot of things from them because they've taken the same courses and they could tell me which professors are good, which classes I should take, which I should not take, etc. So just getting the advice from people who are a year or two older, since they just went through that experience, is super valuable. Apart from that, on a personal side, I think being creative and just like stepping away from your work and then doing something else and then coming back to it, it like refreshes you and then you get a lot more ideas. So I personally really enjoy that experience. So I would say don't stop investing in your hobbies. I know it gets really hard, especially in 11th and 12th grade with all the academics that come with it, but try to do as much as you can. And this will help you form connections that would be super helpful later on.
Thanks, Gauri. That your involvement in the community is really encouraging. The next question goes to Isha. Studying in a new country often comes with surprises, different ways of learning, thinking, and collaborating. How did you find the education system in the US different from India, and what adjustments did you have to make?
So definitely moving from in India to US was a big shift, not just culturally, but academically as well. The way we learn, study, and manage time in the US is quite different, I would say. So the first and probably the biggest difference that I noticed was that it was in India, it's a very exam focused environment in general. In school, we mainly prepared for like big exams, which you could just like study very intensely during your exam periods, if you know what I mean, and then still do fairly well. But in the US, it's very assignment based. Like, even though in India we have assignments, but they weren't like a main focus. Over here, it's very, very important. Like, we have weekly projects, quizzes, and then labs, readings due every single week. So it's not something you could finish in like, set periods of time. You have to have a consistent workflow, essentially. So how I adjusted was mainly that I shifted from studying just before the exam properly to like studying quite a bit every single day. I built a routine, which essentially you should do in school too. That's what teachers tell you to do. But most students just end up like studying a lot before the exam. But yeah, so that's what I had to set up in college. I started doing assignments early, started using Google Calendar. Yeah, just a lot of planning, I would say. And the second difference that I noticed was independence and like self initiative, which is very required in the US. Like in India, teachers guide you a lot and it's very structured and you're kind of told what to do. And yeah, it's just more planned out for you. But in the US, professors expect you to kind of take charge. Nobody reminds you of deadlines. It's all on you. It's the work that you decide to put in. And then you need to like take initiative by going to office hours, forming study groups, and yeah, applying for opportunities by yourself, I would say. Yeah, so my biggest learning from that is that things aren't handed to you over here. You decide to put in effort, and the results kind of reflect based on that. So the adjustments I again made was just like following a routine. Every night I used to just like send out job applications, review lectures, yeah, do a small piece of an assignment every single day. And yeah, I just became more responsible, I would say. And then also, it's a very collaborative environment, a lot of group assignments. Yeah, those were the major differences I would say that I noticed. So, my closing advice for students would be is that just try to be disciplined, consistent, take initiative from your school years. So then it just becomes easier to adjust in college. Essentially, yeah. Yeah, thank you.
Hearing how you adapted to a new learning style is really insightful. Thank you, Isha. Sorry.
The next one is for you, Gauri. After academic pursuit in the US, you continued your professional journey there. What got you interested in building your career in the US?
Yeah, I think for me, it was more of like a natural internship to full-time transition. So, as I mentioned, I had interned at Uber and then had interned at Microsoft, and I liked the kind of working style folks had. I liked the kind of projects that they were getting. So I was like, okay, why not just try it out and see how it is? And apart from that, the opportunity and compensation, especially for folks early in career, which is, I think, probably like a couple of years out of college, I would say is a lot better in the US than in India. Based on my experience at Amazon, I think a lot of projects start here and then the 0 to 1 development happens in the US. And then there are also like sister teams in India, but then we hand it over to them more for maintenance or adding like smaller features. Suppose the 0 to 1 stage. So I think especially for my early in career learning, it's a lot nicer in the US. Apart from that, compensation is also a lot higher, mainly due to the cost of living as compared to India in the US. I think along with that, I also wanted to ha experience having my own independence and taking initiative. So learning to manage my own routine and finances and just learning life skills. I think that's also super important. And I think at the end of the day, like my parents are still in India, so and I've also lived there for so long, so it's always there as a backup option. But for me, I also just wanted to have that experience and decided to just continue post.
Hearing your experience is really nice. Thank you for that. Moving on to my next question to Isha. What role did your parents and the school play in the process of applications to universities abroad?
Yes. So applying abroad was definitely not something I could have done completely alone. My parents and TPS helped me a lot through the entire process. Um, so the biggest thing that my parents probably did for me was that they never really pressured me or compared me to anyone, and that just kind of gave me the space to explore my interests and figure out what I truly wanted to do. They never really stressed me out or yeah, even during like SAT periods or application periods, they were always patient and reassuring. They were always like guiding stones for me and always showed me the right direction, but they never like, micromanaged me or told me like exactly what I had to do. Yeah, so I would just tell students like use your parents as a support system, talk to them, ask them for help. Yeah, just involve them in your decisions. Um, and then the school's role would probably mainly be like the values that the school had. Its focus on community service is what pushed me into getting into community service more as well. Yeah, the mottos, the assemblies, the culture, it just gave me a place to like, yeah, just opportunities to present what I stood for. And also the teachers, they were incredible mentors to me. I had incredibly supportive teachers whenever I reached out for opportunities, guidance. They always gave me honest feedback. Specifically for computer science, I would say Parna ma'am and Vikranti ma'am helped me a lot. Like whenever I wanted any opportunities, I used to just like reach out to ma'am and be like, are there any opportunities available? And yeah, she just led me to like um Invictus opportunities or assemblies. Yeah. And the school's counseling department also really helped me structure my applications as well with essays and shortlisting timelines. And the letters of recommendations were also very meaningful and strong. And also, the school's alumni network is something that helped me a lot. Like when I was applying abroad, I tried to reach out to as many seniors as I could to understand what I needed more. And that would be my advice for students as well. Like, reach out as much as you can. The school is providing us with an amazing alumni network. And yeah, just don't hesitate. We're always willing to help. Yeah.
Wow, that's really nice to hear.
On to you, Gauri. Living and working abroad is a diverse experience for Indians. What cultural and work related differences did you face?
So I think this is typically very like field specific. Me personally, I'm doing CS and I'm working in a big company. So I would say there are a lot of Indians and it might not be very different. But I know for a lot of my other friends who are not in like technical fields, um, their teams could be pretty diverse. And I think a similar thing in college, depending on your major. So for computer science, I think there were a lot of Indians plus international students, especially at Purdue, but maybe to some like smaller college, it might not be the same case. But I think just in general, India itself is so diverse, and we're so used to interacting with people with very different backgrounds. So I think just being generally curious about other people's lives and then learning more about their thinking style is good. And um, based on my experience, even though teams are diverse, people are super professional. So I think it's just fine.
That's really interesting to hear. My next question goes to Isha. You are the founder of Miharo, an initiative supporting children. Would you encourage students to indulge in entrepreneurial pursuits?
Yes, I would definitely encourage students to take up entrepreneurial or initiative-based projects, especially at a young age, because it does not have to be like a big company or starting something super huge, just a small idea, a small project. It could just teach you a lot, I feel. So, yeah, I think that entrepreneurship is very valuable for students because it teaches you a lot of leadership skills like how to plan, organize, and lead, and learn how to take responsibility for something. It also teaches you teamwork and collaboration. And it's a great like confidence building tool, prepares you for college, like you know how to take initiative, build something you're passionate about. And like for non-profits especially, it teaches you empathy, compassion, and genuine community connection. Yeah, that's what I would say. Now, a little bit about maybe my personal experience with Miharo. It just started as an organization I co-founded with my mother. The entire idea was like very simple. We just wanted to like have do something creative and yeah, just help community in our own way. So what we did was basically we conducted art workshops in our community for children, and the funds we raised we used to support a nearby ashram. So we used to just run these little workshops with like me, my mom, my sister, and like a few of our friends. But we raised a good amount of money, which we donated to a ashram nearby. And we also spent a full day at that ashram interacting with the kids over there. And honestly, I gained a lot more from that experience than I expected. I learned how to plan events, work with people, create impact. But yeah, more importantly, it just really grounded me and made me grateful and realize like why service really matters and how important it is to always include that in part of your life, like always give back to society. And yeah, that's why I think students should definitely try something like this. Like, you don't need big ideas or big resources. Just start small and it really shapes your character. So I would definitely suggest all students to just give a go at their idea because yeah, now's the time to do that.
That's excellent advice. Thank you for sharing that.
My final advice, my final question goes to you, Gauri. During your preparations for moving abroad, how did you balance sports and co curricular activities like dance with academics?
Yeah, I would say in 11th and 12th, things are already super crazy with just the academic load that you have. So it's very important to decide early on whether you want to study in India and specifically in an IIT or NIT, or if you want to go abroad, and if so, to which country, because then you can manage your time accordingly and decide like what extracurriculars you want to take on and what kind of exams you want to prepare for. Because if you're preparing for IIT or NIT entrances, you would prepare for JEE, which kind of sort of requires you to go for coaching classes and do a bunch of portions that CBSE does not cover. Versus if you're fine not doing IIT or NIT prep, then you could focus more on like CBSE. And then if you're applying to the US, you would also focus on SAT or ACT prep. So for me, I personally did not do IIT or NIT, so I did not do JE prep. But as a backup, I still applied to BITS, VIT, PS, and other colleges in India as well. But those applications don't require you to go that above and beyond CBSE portions. So I just studied for those independently after 12th grade, after my US applications were done. So this kind of helped me manage my time and plan ahead. So as Isha also mentioned, I kind of started honing my portfolio from ninth grade onwards. So I had a plan from like ninth to 12th as to what all I wanted to accomplish and what all I wanted to add to my portfolio. And this helped me plan ahead and also decide which months I would allocate what, especially based on like exam schedules and other things. But I would say it's definitely tough. There were a lot of days where I woke up super early just to finish studying so that my evenings could be free for my extracurriculars for dance or like going to the nonprofits and stuff. So yeah, I would say firstly making a decision on where you want to study and what you want to study. That should be the most important thing. I know based on a lot of my friends' experiences, a lot of them were trying to do both JEE prep and abroad applications. And they were also unsure, so they didn't know how much time to invest in their extracurriculars and how much time to invest in JEE prep. And this kind of burns students out. And at the end of the day, you might not be great at either, which is not a good place to be. So, yeah, decide early on and talk to like college counselors, talk to your seniors, talk to your parents, but decide early on and then manage your time accordingly.
That's great to hear. I'm sure it'll be beneficial for our students. Now let's get ready for a fun quiz. I'll ask you both some questions and either of you can answer. Are you both ready? Let's get started. Do you remember what the motto of our school is?
You can answer. You can just unmute and answer.
You can just
Yeah.
unmute and answer.
Service
Service
before
for
self.
That is the correct answer. Our school motto definitely resonates with the DPS students.
Can you identify this block?
Is this beta block, gamma block?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think it's beta. Beta is
It
I
is
think
the
it's
seven.
beta
beta,
block.
yeah.
It is the beta block.
Can you guys name the biggest cultural event of our school?
Invictus?
Invictus.
That's the right answer. Invictus is
Yeah.
definitely a memorable event for all DPS students.
Yes.
Which dance form uses spins called chakkars?
Kathak. But that's not school specific.
That was quick. That's the right answer.
On to our next question. Who was India's first Olympic silver medalist in badminton?
The
Sindhu?
PV Sindhu. Yeah.
That is the correct answer. It is PVC.
Do you know which billionaire is said to be on track to reach $1 trillion net worth?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Elon
Yeah, it
Musk.
is enormous. You're right.
Can you guess the word over here?
Um,
Huh?
uh, EC Fire.
TV shooter.
E-
Quick fire?
Um,
No.
Do we get any clues?
Yeah, do
We're a
you
little
need a hint?
lost. Yes, I
Okay,
need a
Yeah,
hint.
so
hint is good.
what is happening to the screen? You will get it then. What is happening to the screen?
Nothing. Like it's just
Screenshot.
existing.
Screenshot.
Okay.
Yeah, yes, that is the correct answer. It is screenshot.
Next up, unscrambling words.
These are computer science related.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh,
The
algorithm,
first one is
reverse.
algorithms.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct.
The second one is
Reverse, right? Is it not?
No, it's
No.
not. It's not reverse.
Um,
no.
server?
Yeah,
Ah,
it is server.
right.
Correct.
Okay.
Mm,
The third one's a
Firewall.
bit tricky. Oh, you got? Wow, it is firewall. Can you guess who they are?
yeah, Steve Jobs
Steve Jobs.
and
Yes, and
Sundar
Lifachai.
Pichai.
Yay.
Nice.
yeah.
I hope both of you enjoyed it as much as we did. As we
Oh
come to
yeah.
the close of this wonderful event, I'd sincerely like to thank each and every one of you for being a part of it. A heartfelt thanks to the management, our principal, Dr. Manila Carvalho, and our vice principal, Ms. Preeti Suter, for providing us with this platform to interact with our distinguished alumni. We also extend our gratitude to the HOD of the Computer Science Department, Ms. Vikranti Ashtikar, HOD of the English Department, Ms. Sonali Roy, and the teacher in charge, Ms. Sioni Dikshit, and the Broadcast Brigade team, Ms. Richa Srivastava and Ms. Nandita Gupta, for their constant support and guidance. A sincere appreciation to the technical team, Ms. Shabana and Ms. Pooja Ahuja, for ensuring the seamless streaming of this event.
A special thanks to our inspiring guests, Ms. Gauri Harish and Ms. Isha Hebbar, for highlighting and sharing what's possible for our students here. And we are grateful you could revisit your journey with us. And to all the viewers, you have been a wonderful audience. This is Agnes and Moktika signing off. Thank you.